we will be considering another very vital question under politics and government, and that is, it is often said that conflict is inherent in politics, but can it be said that politics is inherent in all conflicts? Can we say that we have politics in all conflicts? Now, conflict is common and is unavoidable in all human societies. That is common. All over the world, conflicts occur because the society is made up of people with different interests and values. So often at times, we always have the rise of conflict. Now, this explains that conflict is actually built out of politics, since politics involves competition for benefits. So when we talk about politics, we talk about competition for benefits. And if we have competition, that means there is a direct link to conflict. Therefore, conflict is inherent in politics. It is noteworthy that as politics breed conflict, every conflict also has the undertone of politics. There are different bases that we are going to be using to actually establish that truly politics is inherent in our conflicts. For instance, historicity. The history of almost all conflicts in a country like Nigeria and the world in general can be traced back to politics or political happenings. Most crises in Nigeria, for instance, have its root caused in the past historical political experiences of the country, which is colonialism. As colonialism planted the seed of discord through forced marriage of different ethnic backgrounds. So when we look at the major political issues, conflict that is happening in Nigeria, we will see that the root cause is politics. Colonialism, we have been struggling with social cultural integration, which has given rise to diverse conflicts, different conflicts in the political terrain of Nigeria. And the root of it all is colonialism. So politics, it serves as the basis of most of these conflicts that we can see. Even if we look at other conflicts also, like the conflict between the Tutsi and the Hutus in Rwanda, such historical magnificent conflict is actually also linked to the political past of such a country. Also, competition for scarce resources is also another basis. The politics in trying to control both political and economic resources that are scarce always result in fierce competition, which sometimes or even most times results in conflict. So there is always competition. That explains the Niger Delta militants and their struggle in Nigeria. So at that time, we can see that there is a politics. The politics of trying to control scarce resources always results in conflict. Sectionalism is another basis of conflict in the world and even in Nigeria. And when we look at sectionalism or the rise of nepotism and others, you will see that there are political matters that always aggravate into conflict. So the basis of most conflict, as we have mentioned, is the world is always sectional, regional, and ethnic divisions. So the seemingly unending conflict, for instance, between the Palestinians and the Israelis, the Indians and the Pakistanis, the Irish Catholics and the Protestants, the Turks and the Kurds, and even Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba, though have historical and ethnic and conceptual explanation, also we can say that the play of politics as the underlying factor in those conflicts. This is because tribalism, ethnicity, nepotism, sectionalism are those things that are politically driven and always result in conflict situation. Another vital point is the insensitivity of government. A critical look at the root cause of so many conflicts, one will discover that what gave rise to such is the ineptitude and insensitivities of those in government to the plight of the governed. So, for instance, if we see the Bring Back Our Girls campaign that sometimes was violent, if we look at the Boko Haram issues in Nigeria, if we look at the End SARS issues in Nigeria, if we look at even other matters in the United States of America, the killing of the Black Lives Matter campaign, all these things are conflicts that always have at the root cause the insensitivity of those in government. That means politics is giving opportunity for the rise of conflict. Another factor, another point is poverty. And there's no way we'll talk about poverty that we will not talk about politics. Because when we look at Africa, for instance, Africa is said to be developing country, and to a large extent we know that it is the headquarters of poverty. But that is not basically a problem of who Africans are. A lot of time, poverty in Africa is a byproduct of bad leadership, which is a political matter. Now, the issue with poverty always gave rise to a lot of conflict, because it is generally said that an hungry man is an angry man. So we look at it, poverty, though a social problem, is a child of politics. So the capitalist political system, which has become prevalent in most countries today, has created a wide gap between the rich and the poor. And that has always been the basis in which the poor continually see any minute opportunity to witch hunt and also fight the rich. Political grievances also has been the genesis of so many conflicts. So in a democracy, especially that of the developing countries of Africa, one will see that the rise of many crises is always linked one way or the other to political grievances. So if we look at military coup d'etat that we have happened in Nigeria, election crisis that has happened in Nigeria, the 1962, 1963 census crisis, the 1962 AG crisis, and the Kano crisis, the Kano riot, a lot of these has a link to political grievances. So when we look at it, a lot of time, this therefore became a basis for conflict in the society, in the community, in the nation at large. Therefore, political matters, political grievances do facilitate conflict in the society. Ideological and political change is another factor, another point of establishing how politics serve as a background or genesis to conflict in the society. So conflict most time happen as a result of change. So these changes have mostly been politically motivated. Sometimes the need to change from this to this always results in conflict. And when we look at the driving force towards making such a decision for change, politics is always at the root cause. The Unification Decree 34 that was made by Aguiyi Ironsi in 1966 that led to the coup d'etat was a politically motivated decision, and it was also a decision that is aimed at changing Nigeria from federalism to a unitary system. This created crisis, this created conflicts, showing us that political ideologies and change in political concepts will always result in major crisis. So from this viewpoint, from these different points that have been established, we can deduce that as much as conflict is always part of politics, politics is also intricately embedded in all or most conflicts.
This is Valdymas College of Advanced and Preliminary Studies. We do excellent A-level programs for guaranteed admission into 200 level. We are in the success business and we transform